In this lecture content section, we're going to talk about setting and scene and place, the sense of where are you in the story and is it relevant to the story? It's your job, writing an analysis essay, to make a judgment and say, this author is really good. The sense of place is, it creates a suspension of disbelief. It feels real. Maybe you're writing a science fiction story and you're creating an alternate world. As a writer, that writer really needs to work hard at making that alternate world feel real. Or maybe you're just describing a scene in a natural setting like a forest for somebody who is encountering challenges walking through the woods. Does the writer use all five senses? Can you smell? Can you feel it on the skin? Can you taste it? Can you hear things? What do you see with your eyes? That's the most obvious, but the really sophisticated writers use all five senses. The really sophisticated writers will use active verbs and really strong figurative images to make it feel real. It's part of your job to make a judgment on the quality of the writing. As an analysis essay writer, maybe the writer doesn't do a very good job of creating a sense of space. You should comment on that and you should be specific. The verbs just don't make it sing, or the writer only uses the eyes. You can't experience the place through the other senses. Um, One of the things that you might notice about sense of place is that sometimes it's so important in a story that it actually becomes a character. It's man against nature, something like that. Um, Other times, it's just like this bland white wall background. It's buzzing in the middle of a story that's kind of all internal, and the sense of place has no real relevance in the development of the story. Um, you can use your coarse vocabulary as you're writing about this by saying there is a suspension of disbelief. I felt the place was real. You can also um, use your evidence from the primary source, another concept that we're studying in this class, and that is a specific line from the short story that you're reading that illustrates how well done this is as far as writing skills go. Or you could say that this is a primitive essay that the writer does not do a very good job. Again, it's your duty as the person writing the analysis essay to point that out. Um, Maybe a final thought about this is that if you're lucky enough to find a secondary source, that is a critic from the New York Times, or maybe somebody writing in a peer-reviewed journal of literary um, studies, that this writer is really good at scene setting, and you can pull that quote out to support your argument. That's really helpful. You don't want to write an essay saying, I think that the scene setting is weak. You want to state it not in first person, but kind of more scholarly third person voice, and just say the scene development was very weak, and then support your argument with evidence. And this is the kind of writing that you will be doing in many courses beyond mine. So you're learning skills that can be used in a business course, in an agriculture course, in a nursing course. You're going to be writing argumentative papers and supporting a thesis. And that's what we're doing here too. We just happen to be focused on literature. So you will have a generating exercise coming up really soon about the sense of place, the scene setting in your short stories that you're reading. Think about these concepts that I've been discussing here and that are written out on this page, and bring those into your discussion with the short stories that you read.